After 10 years of drinking coffee every single day, I have just completed 1 week with 0 caffeine. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I did it, what the week was like for me, and the positive and negative effects that I felt. I never used to really drink caffeine. I would only have an energy drink maybe before a session, before I'm training, but that was kind of very occasionally. And then it was only at university, circus school. It was technically a university. It was only then when my housemate started giving me coffee in the mornings, and from then on what happened to me was the same as what happens to many people. You start drinking the occasional coffee, and then before you know it, you're drinking coffee every day, and then before you know it's been 10 years and you couldn't wake up without a coffee. So fast forwarding to now, I'm drinking 1 double espresso when I wake up, so that'll be around 8:30, and then I'm drinking a green tea directly after that, and then I wait until around 12:30 and I have another double espresso, and then again I have a green tea directly after that. I finish drinking coffee by 2 p.m. at the latest. I finish drinking green tea or any other caffeinated thing by around 3 p.m. latest. I don't really like to have too much caffeine too late in the day because I find that I'm quite a sensitive sleeper. So yeah, other than occasional problems sleeping, I didn't really do this challenge for the health benefits. I did it more because I wanted to have a greater sense of control over my energy levels, my motivation levels, and so on. I also think it's interesting how caffeine is one of the only widely accepted drugs in our society, and there's such a, there's nothing like the coffee culture. It's interesting how it's almost not seen as a drug, and it's almost not seen as if there aren't so many addicts. There's so many people addicted to coffee that maybe they don't even know it. And I'm obviously not saying that being addicted to coffee is the same as being addicted to crack or, a more harmful drug. I'm not saying caffeine is even harmful. I think there are studies that have been shown for it to actually be relatively safe over a long term, depending on the amounts, of course. But an addiction is still an addiction. It's still something that you don't have full control over. I did actually film a daily vlog video, but it turned out a little bit like I'm just a little bit tired, demotivation, and lack of focus. I'm a little bit slower and a little bit more tired doing everything. It's not been a particularly good session so far. So yeah, instead I thought I'd make this quick summary instead. Day 1 went pretty much as I expected. I kind of wrote the day off because I knew it would be quite hard to adjust on the first day. So yeah, I was tired, I was less motivated, less focused, nothing dramatic, but yeah, my overall levels of everything were just a little bit down. And yeah, as I said, I totally expected that to happen. I did my usual 2 hours of daily training, and it just wasn't a good session. I didn't really achieve much, I didn't feel productive, and so on. But the first real side effect started at about 10, and this is when I started to develop a really dull headache. I am pretty confident that the headaches were a side effect of the lack of caffeine, because I know that other people have reported having headaches in the same situation when they're cutting caffeine, and it is quite a common side effect. But on that first day, the headaches were really not that severe, and they weren't a big deal. I just slept it off. Day 2 started off very much like day 1. It was only at lunchtime when I started to develop a headache again, and this time it started off dull, but it got really quite bad. I was thinking about taking a paracetamol, but because I'm fasting at the moment, I didn't want to have it on an empty stomach. If it was really bad, I would have just eaten something and had a paracetamol, but it was like on the limit of being okay enough for me to deal with. So yeah, I think in general day 2 was the hardest because the headache was really with me for most of the day. But again, it was to be expected, and it wasn't that bad. Like, it wasn't pleasant, but you just deal with it, and then So day 3 was when things started to look up. I had no more headaches, it's easier to get up, it was generally easier to do everything. Day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, they all got easier as time went on, and to be honest, the challenge became less of a challenge and I was just getting on with my stuff, but without coffee. I do have to say that although I wasn't really lacking in my energy or focus, I did kind of miss like the very subtle boost that caffeine gives me. And it's something that I didn't even necessarily recognize before because I was always having the caffeine. And it wasn't as though I was sitting around in my pants doing nothing. I was so unmotivated because I didn't have a coffee, but it definitely does give you that extra little like thing to go and get what you're trying to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's very subtle, but it's definitely real. And I did miss that about not having coffee. But on the flip side of this, my general sense of calm, my anxiety levels, they all went way down, and my general mood was a lot more flat. There weren't sort of like peaks and lows and peaks, it was general more flat. Overall, I am really happy that I did the challenge. I think it was really interesting to take away these external variables, strip myself down to what was almost my true form without anything outside influencing me. And then I can truly realize the effect of these other things when I reintroduce them. So I can see who I am and how I can benefit myself by adding this and having a coffee. A good example is I only really realized what carbohydrates do. I read what they do, I understood what they do, but I only really had first-hand experience of what they do when I tried the ketogenic diet. And I went on a bike ride and I couldn't feel my legs. And it was interesting just to be like, so this is what carbs do. And even though I knew it, something changed. There's something about having this first-hand experience to really understanding stuff, I think. I did really enjoy my first coffee back on the Monday. It hit me really hard, and I think that my tolerance levels have definitely decreased, which was another positive of this challenge. If you have anything for too long and you have too much of it, then you don't appreciate the benefits, and you don't feel the benefits as much as if you use it sparingly. And I think that's why people generally say you should do everything in moderation. Moving on from the challenge, I do like the idea of being a little bit more liberal with my caffeine intake. I could potentially do a day of no caffeine, or maybe just a day of no coffee and then green tea instead. That could be on my rest day. For example, I don't know, but I can definitely say that this won't be the last time that I go without caffeine. So thank you for watching the video. If you have had your own experiences of going without caffeine, then please let me know how it was for you. If you're inspired to try it yourself, then also let me know how it goes, and I would love to hear your experiences. If not, if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like, a comment. If you want to watch some more stuff, then subscribe. And I'll see you next time.